welcome back. A few weeks ago, I created a video on dashboards and charts. And since then, I've had a lot of questions about other views, charts, mining data other than status or the canned charts that Sparx provides to you. So we're going to demonstrate the charts and views I use on a regular basis. And I hope that this helps clear up how you can slice and dice your data so that you're able to get the intelligence you need to deliver your projects. So let's get started. I work on a lot of projects every day, even across different companies that I'm supporting. And when I enter into a project, I've kind of have to quickly acclimate myself to what's going on in the effort. So I'll go in, there'll be a dashboard like this or something like this that's set up. I'll go into solution approach. If and when I'm working solution approach, I work in many areas like design. I will go into my reporting area, my dashboard, and I'll jump into different views that are available. So I'll create a working set. Let me close everything but the main. When I go into solution, I'll create a working set that launches the things that I'm focused on at that particular time. So as soon as I launch this, I immediately get all of the diagrams, models, and views that I need to get started. So I have my building block model. I bring that up and reuse that. I talk about reusing the same elements across different views. I have my presentation dashboard, if you will, that immediately gets me to things like tracking. I can get to tracking. I can get to tag value mining. And we're going to do a demonstration on how to create charts on different data, such as tag values and much more. I've got different views that are here. So I'll come in every day and look at tracking. I'll see where we are on solution delivery status. Here's requirements and functional requirements. And we're 100% done on solution on business requirements. And we're 2/3 of the way through the functional requirements that we're working on for this project. I have my typical requirements by status chart. I have my application by status chart. And these are very simple models that are reusable by Sparx when you're dragging and dropping their particular dashboard views in. I have some model views here that basically mine data saying, hey, on proposed requirements, the remaining, we've got 35 and only 5 have been approved, but we have to keep working in iteration. And even though 5 have been formally approved by the team, we're getting into design as quickly as we can. We're even solutioning before all requirements have been approved in baseline. We have enough to progress. So in this case, out of the 11 architecture building blocks that we have, and we've got 11 here, we've got 2 that are inside one of them that we want to make sure we're tracking all of those. We can see that, well, we've solutioned for 9 out of the 11 and 2 are still in progress. So when you're looking at the application by status chart, you can see that we still have 2 that are proposed. We haven't settled on and approved them. 4 that are validated. 1's mandatory. It could be due to regulatory, security, privacy, or other reasons. And then 4 already implemented. We're really not doing any development. So I'll come in and get a snapshot very quickly on that, but I need more information than I see here. So I have a view of extended tag values. And so I want to look at effort, by impacted application. Level of effort is what this one is. Effort's over here. Again, you see that, well, you said you had 11 and I only see 10 that are here. So it triggers a lot of questions as you're getting the answers from your charts and your dashboards. Impact by applications. In this particular case, again, 10, you can see 4 of them are development. We have got 1 that is test. And we have 5 that's only test support. So this is a pretty simple and easy project. You can see your stage of impacted. We now have 7 applications that are in design. We have even 1 application, and it could be one of the applications that's already deployed and really only is requirements or configuration rather, and it is in development, and we have one that's being implemented. And then I have something called scaled factors. And again, I'm going to talk about scale factors in another video, but this is something that's very important to me. In this particular case, this team, all of these application groups that are here, they're looking pretty good. You know, we're sitting at a 3, a 4, and a 5. And like I tell you in all the charts, essentially when we're creating a dashboard or charts, if somebody clicks on it, they can see the data or the information, description, and details relevant to that. So in this case, we've got one that is sitting at a normal. We're trying to make sure that we're looking for anything that has a score of 2 or 1, low or very low. And best case, we'd like to see things that are 6, but that's nearly impossible. No one's perfect. And when you start to understand how scale factors work, there's just some areas that lower the score. However, we've got 3 applications rather that have very high rating, 5, and we have 4 that have a high rating. So this one makes the team, especially me, feel very comfortable about our ability to deliver the architecture. And so from a TOGAF perspective, there's something called capabilities framework, and we feel comfortable that the teams are relevantly skilled and can deliver the architecture and technology that's necessary to meet time to market needs, meet budget and performance needs. So these are the things that I look on a regular basis. So let's show how one of these charts is built. Let's go back to the main page. And if you've got a lot of tags open, you can hit this little down arrow right here, and we can go back to the main page very quickly. We can right click on here and we can close all except the main page just to clean things up. And what we want to do is we want to go into the discussion area, the document repository. We're going to right click in here, find that diagram here, this landing page in the document repository, and let's create a collaboration space. Let's say we're working with the team and we're going to have a discussion, and we may have a discussion on level of effort, LOE, right? So LOE and then discussion or collaboration. I'm just going to call it something simple like this. We're going to create a diagram. Inside this, we're going to use extended as the type, and we're going to come down to dashboard right here, and then we're going to open the model, right? And then we get all of the tools in the toolbox that we need to build what's necessary for this effort. We're going to open up dashboard, and we're going to bring in a standard chart, and we're going to call this chart here LOE by, I think it's going to be focused on impacted applications. So something like that. All right. Name it anything you want, something that's meaningful and especially unique. You don't want all of your charts with the same name. That can get kind of confusing. And with notes over here, we'll be able to explain what this chart is and as we're going forward. So we're double clicking here. And as soon as we open it up, we're going to go to custom SQL, and we're going to create some SQL in here that's going to mine the data. We don't want a pie chart. We're going to use a 2D bar chart. We can come in here and get fancy with appearance and create some custom views. But let's just start with a simple 2D bar chart as we're going forward. Now, let's go ahead and cancel out of this. What I normally do is I'll go over to the search engine in Sparx, hit model. I'll go down to my searches where I've got my scratch pads. Of course, I've got all my SQL that I've built. I'm going to go down to particular area. I create multiple areas where I'm writing SQL. We're going to open up the editor, the SQL editor. And in this case, I've started writing some SQL that is going to look at the property level of effort. I'm only interested in class elements, and I'm only interested in the elements that are in the building block package. All right. So let's go ahead and test this SQL. Let me explain a little bit more. So I'm looking in 2 tables, the object property table where the tag values are, and the TObject table where the class elements are. So I'm interested in the tag value as a series because that's the pattern we have to use when we're creating charts. And we need to apply a group name, and I'm using tag value property to do that. I also want to look at the name out of the TObject for the element, and I want to look at the object type. These are just things that I want to verify as I'm writing this. These two are not going to show up in the chart. The chart is only interested in selecting these series and group names to build. All right. And I'm doing this again from these two tables where the property equals LOE or level of effort. The object ID is going to be mapped out of the TObject's property table to the TObject table. So it's joining these two IDs, if you will, in those tables, where again, the object type that we're interested in needs to be class. So we're filtering that out. And then we're looking for anything with building blocks in the package name. So the package ID that is represented in the TObject table, we're going to select from the package table. All right. And then I don't need to include any values that are null. So I have as part of the statement, a SQL statement here is not null. All right. So I only want elements that have been populated. Let's go ahead and run this to test it. And there we go. So we have our elements right here. That's the name. We have the object type, just to put them in front of us and see right here. And we've got the series, the value that's within the property. And then we have the property as the group name of LOE. So this works, ready to go. So what we're going to do then, once we're happy with this, is we're going to copy this. We're going to go back over to our chart, and we're going to paste that in to our custom SQL area. You can certainly write it here, but it's easier to do it over in the SQL editor and then bring it over and use it here. All right. So let's hit OK and see what we got. Well, this is the pie format, and we want 2D bar. There we go. And there we go. We've created a chart for applications that's looking at the level of effort. And now the team can have, if we're on a conference call, we can have a conversation about these. We can bring up the diagram. We can apply legends like you've learned and start to do more analysis. And when I'm saying analysis, I really mean collaboration as part of analysis. Let's go ahead and open up our building block diagram. I'm just going to open this thing up here and have this up as part of the conversation. Let's go ahead and close the search engine. And so we have this and we have this going on, right? Then let's go up to our document repository, open up legends, connectors, and elements. This is the reusable repository we've created for all of our legends that we want to use. And let's bring over effort or level of effort out of the elements. Let's just drag and drop this in here. So now here we can see which items are complex all the way down to test support, right? So you can see we've got 3 tests. We've got one that's easy. We have a couple of elements that are inside that are easy, moderate. This is probably where most of the work is for this application group. And it's really configuration, which we'll find in the solution approach. We've got a couple of applications that say they're complex. Now this is a trigger for me because I constantly want to challenge folks because of the estimate may be too high going, why do you believe this is complex? I might even come over to connectors and bring in drag and drop scaled factors in here and look at, well, it's low, the scaled factor for the connectivity between these applications. That could be one reason, and there may be other factors that are in here. I could remove this. I can bring in effort, look at the line. You can see in the legend, these are lines. The squares are elements. I could look in here and go, well, they believe this work is moderate and this work is easy. So why does CRM believe their level of effort is complex. So I'll challenge them because we're agreeing on this intelligence. And so I'll challenge them to find out why they believe what they do or why they're assigning levels of effort that are so high or complex. And we'll work together on finding out what the problems are and hopefully solving those problems to make this work, this delivery faster and easier. So that is how to create charts, custom charts for your projects. That is mining data across your entire Sparx EA database. And what we'll try to talk about later in this series is how to bring in views from other Sparx projects. For example, this is for release 1. This could be a program increment or PI1, and the team is starting to do work on PI2, or vice versa. The team is in PI2, program increment 2 or release 2, and they're trying to track what's going on in the current release that's looking to deploy before that program increment or release. And you can bring in data even from other tables, whether you're bringing it in as a flat file or you're bringing it in using other SQL to connect to those databases. So we'll talk about that as we progress. So that is how to build custom charts. And this is very important for delivering your architecture, achieving your objectives on what you want to do, mining data so that you can get analysis about the overall project and the project teams for delivering faster and better. All right, that's going to conclude this session. How are you doing charts? Are you even using charts? Are you mining data using other tools? So I'm very interested to know that as we're proceeding, how much energy I need to put into this. But today we learned what I use as tools, and we'll create other views for other stakeholders. The clients, when they come in, they may have different perspectives they want to check on a daily basis. And when we're going through, we're creating these charts to help us understand specific views. Sometimes seeing a model with legends in it is not enough. We're looking at level of effort and impact legends and things like that. But often stakeholders want to view dashboards to get a very fast overview of what's taking place in the project. So thanks very much for watching. Again, comment down below, good or bad. Let me know what you're doing, what you need to know to deliver your architecture. And until the next session, happy modeling.